He might be the best football player in all of college football.
And that's the left tackle, Mr. Sewell.
Rare to see a guy that big that can way Penei Sewell can. I mean, it really is. It's one of those where you see him on film and you go, wait, is he really that big? I don't know if that's it. Is he really moving like that? And he's 326 or 325. You know, that's the first thing that you just jumps out to you.
Not backing off on the tempo. Gets out quickly, Red again in space, and they will.
Injury. Missed the first 4 games. Out wide, Jalen Red.
Watch Penei Sewell, number 58, get out in front of Jalen Red and get the key block right there.
And that's a 350-pound clean guy that weighs 330 that's got feet like a tight end, and it's just damage.
That is a man.
You want a better quarterback? Get Penei Sewell. He'll make your bad quarterback okay. He'll make your okay quarterback good. He'll make your good quarterback great. That is who you want.
Quick thought, Diana, go.
Dom, just look.
This is awesome. The showcase matchup tonight. Oregon O-line, Auburn D-line on 4th down. Burdell hammers in. And the Ducks score.
These Ducks fans were on all grew up coming to games here, dreaming of one day playing for the Ducks.
There he is, the newest Detroit Lion, offensive tackle extraordinaire Penei Sewell. The Lions. It's crazy. They didn't screw it up, and we have no idea what's going to happen going forward. We have no idea if Penei Sewell is going to be amazing, going to be good, going to be nothing. But what we do know is that we've got the great Lawton Lutz. Always an honor. Welcome into the task force, special edition, instant reaction to day 1 of the NFL draft. We'll talk a little Fins for Lawton. He's got the Dolphins jersey. Dan Marino, that's where Dan the Man, the nickname came from. And the Barry Sanders jersey like I was wearing last night. We don't know what he's going to be. But what we know, Lawton, is you look at some more highlights. And we know OT tape isn't necessarily the sexiest tape. But, boy, he makes it look sexy. This guy's just a beast. He's an absolute specimen. We know that the Lions, and it's not about doing the safe thing. It's not about doing the smart thing. I mean, those are all part of making great decisions that build a team to a crescendo and an LA Rams type Super Bowl type team and the Niners and the Ravens and the Niners and the Chiefs, etc. But they did the right thing. They didn't reach on somebody. They didn't draft Charles Rogers. They didn't draft Ham. They didn't trade, which could have been a possibility. But guess what? They made a damn good decision. I got a lot of things I want to show the people in a second here, including a great quote that, or a great tweet that Adam Schefter put up last night after the Lions took him. But Lawton, I want to get right to you. And, you know, for full disclosure, you are a Fins fan, but that's why I love you, because you're very objective, much more than many long-suffering Lions fans are when it comes, because you like the Lions too. I mean, you're born and raised here in Michigan for the most part in Grand Rapids. But your objectivity is always something that I like to lean on, because you're not sucked into the nonsense. What was your thought when you saw the Lions have the guy fall into their lap that they hoped would, but maybe didn't think was going to happen?
Well, the last 20 years of my life I've spent in Metro Detroit, and I would like nothing more than to see some success from the Detroit Lions. Al Davis, the great Al Davis, had a famous saying. He said, it's not about winning or losing. It's more important to be right. And in this case, the Lions were right. They started off the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes regime with the right choice. And they got a little luck involved there, right? The Sewell, I thought, might go to the Bengals just before the Lions, and they took the right guy. And you know what? They didn't take a tight end or a wide receiver in the first round. I think that would have made fans really upset. You know, just listening to sports radio today when I was out, there's a great buzz about this pick. And it's, like I said, a great way to start. Dan Campbell, like I said before, I really like him as a coach. Not the fact that he was also a Dolphin, but it helps. But at the same time, he was also a
Lion, FYI.
I know, but I love the fact that he came in and he was himself. He was authentic. I know he got a little crazy with the biting off kneecaps, but a guy to put in the trenches like Penei Sewell, perfect addition for Dan Campbell's first pick as head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Beautifully said. Now, I want to show you something here. This is there's a few things I want to throw out there. This is something you rarely see when it comes to the Detroit Lions in any draft situation. I want you to look at the Detroit Lions war room when they knew, because as you heard Brad Holmes say last night, I'm going to play a little Brad Holmes for you in a minute here. They knew that was as soon as your Finns made the pick and took Waddle, and obviously the Bengals could have taken Penei Sewell as well. As soon as he fell in, this room erupts. You see Holmes there with Rod. He almost tackles Rod Wood. They are going. Sheila Ford's on her phone, texting maybe her mother. They were going crazy, Lawton. And that is something you don't often see and rarely have seen, the passion, the excitement, and like I said, not just the smart and safe pick, the right pick. But let me show you this from Adam Schefter. I'm going to throw the Twitter back up here. This is something that I didn't see until this morning, but I know it was on Twitter last night. This is what Adam Schefter had to say last night about an NFL coach. Hold on, I had it right here. Where did it go? I've lost my mind. I don't know where it went, but let me just paraphrase it. What he said is, talking to an NFL coach, they said the only surefire Hall of Famer out of this class is Penei Sewell. And here's another thing. There's a lot of draft sites out there. We draft nicks are a dime a dozen. I love a lot of them, but my favorite one is Walter Football. I think they do. Remember last night when you were asking me who the Raiders were going to take, and I told you Alex Leatherwood, and you're like, Alex Leatherwood, he's like ranked 44. And then they took Alex Leatherwood. Well, the reason I got that and thought that they were going to do it was because Walter Football had the Raiders taking Alex Leatherwood. I trust them that much. Look at this. Look at what they had to say about the Penei Sewell pick. By the way, your Jalen Waddle pick, which we'll get to in a minute, B grade, not terrible. Lions, Penei Sewell, offensive tackle, Oregon, A+. By the way, if anyone's wondering, the only other A+ was Trevor Lawrence. They say, I imagine the Lions are shocked that Penei Sewell made it past both the Bengals and Dolphins. This is a no-brainer selection. It could be argued that Sewell was the best player, not named Trevor Lawrence, in the class. Detroit has a huge hole at tackle, which Sewell will fit very nicely. Detroit's next quarterback, probably someone, could be Sam, I'm forgetting his last name right now, from the North Carolina. It could be a couple different guys next year. We'll be thrilled to have him, Sewell blocking for him. It's one of these things, Lawton, that you just don't see it often when it comes to the Lions. And it's nice. I mean, listen, we don't know how picks are going to work out. We don't know how drafts are going to work out. It's for 2-3 years. But a guy like Sewell will be a day one starter. And I know he sat out last year, by the way, allowed like 1 sack and 300 snaps in 2019. He won the trophy for the best interior lineman in the country. It's one of these things where I think it's very unlikely, and you knock on wood if you're a Lions fan, because bad things have happened for most of our lives, very unlikely that there's anything but great stuff from Penei Sewell. He's just a beast.
Yeah, and I really thought he could have fit well with the Bengals or the Dolphins, but the fact remained that Tua needed some weapons. And to give him someone from his old college days in Waddle, I think with Pitts being gone and JaMarr Chase also being gone at that time in the draft, I thought that was a good pick for the Dolphins. I don't necessarily agree with all of a B grade. I don't think it's a bad grade, but Sewell would have been a great pick there, but the Lions needed that in the trenches. And the Dolphins needed a playmaker, and they got him. Now they've got a pretty nice core of wide receivers down there in Miami with Parker and the addition of Fuller.
Yep, and I want to get to your Finns here, and then just kind of some overall reaction to the draft. We thought the Aaron Rodgers story was going to kind of hover over it, and it still is, but it seems like Aaron Rodgers might be staying in Green Bay. I know the GM came out after the Packers selected last night and said that Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback. We're not trading him. We know that obviously could change. But what do you think about Waddle? You mentioned you guys could have taken Penei Sewell. You could have taken a bunch of different people at number 6. But you had the ability to take a wide receiver because you've built through the draft the way that I hope the Lions do in the next several years.
Well, Pitts went really high. So after Pitts was off the board, I thought the Dolphins would easily get –
Yeah, by the way, the highest for a tight end ever. Tight end's never gone higher.
Pitts is gone. Great. So I thought maybe they would get Chase. And then, of course, Joe Burrow, they paired him up, the old LSU tandem. And then of course, we had Waddle up. But like I said, I like Waddle. He's really fast. And I know that he can, he was injured last year, so a lot of people haven't seen him, and that's going to bode well for Tua. I mean, he's got, like I said, someone he's familiar with. He's going to have to do some offseason work with Fuller. He obviously has some ton of reps with Parker, so I think that's a great start, at least for them. And like I said, I'm happy. The Dolphins needed 3 guys. They needed an edge rusher, they needed another receiver, and they needed a running back. I was a little disappointed they took the edge rusher before the running back when they had the opportunity to get Travis Etienne or Najee Harris, who went respectively to the Jags and Steelers right behind, just right after that pick number 18. But the second round will give us some special. There's a couple of targets for the Dolphins and Lions I'll have for you in just a couple of minutes.
All right. Well, before we get to that, and before we get to some Brad Holmes sound on Penei Sewell, I wanted to hear from our great friends at Screwball.
Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. A refreshingly unique taste on the world's most classic spirit. It goes down smooth with a perfectly blended finish. Anything but ordinary, and always lives up to the name. Sure, it sips a little different, and that's just who we are. Peanut butter. Screwball Whiskey. The original peanut butter whiskey.
Now, Lawton, since Screwball has been a great friend of the show, I just want to let everyone know we didn't plan this. This is before they became involved. This is you, the legendary Lawton Lutz, on your birthday drinking Screwball.
It was good. It's good stuff. Not drink responsibly, everyone.
Yeah, was that in Grand Rapids? I believe
that was. Yeah, I went back home.
Tchotchkes? Was it Tchotchkes?
I think it was the Holiday Bar. Give them a shout out. They were a good time over there on the west side. I was surprised by a ton of work colleagues and friends. I had no idea it was going to happen. I had to be in town for a wedding the night before. So really, really cool surprise.
Were you surprised that Todd Gurley scored there when he was not supposed to? That cost people so much money, but it made me a lot.
Poor Falcon fans.
Respond to this comment by a Facebook fan. Dolphins made a huge mistake. Should have went Sewell first round and wide receiver second. Lions will send a Christmas card.
Hey, maybe so. Like I said, I think most Dolphin fans were interested in a wide receiver. And I really, again, how much I love Devontae Smith. And he, of course, went to the Eagles not long after they traded, up to get him. So, again, we'll see what happens. I like the wide receiver. Like I said, wide receiver, edge rusher, and running back. Those were the 3 needs for the Dolphins, and they're going to address the running back situation, hopefully early second round.
All right, let's hear from the Lions general manager, Brad, as I call him, Sherlock Holmes. And boy, was he fired up about this. Take a listen to Brad Holmes on Penei Sewell.
We just couldn't be any more excited than we are about Penei. Just really stoked. Going through the process, we got to a point where we pretty much identified 3 players, and he was one of those 3 that we would just be extremely, let's just say, through the roof about. And to be able to land him, he's going to be an integral and an impactful piece to our franchise going forward for years to come. He's going to be a great addition to our offensive line. He's just a transcendent talent. I can't quite remember a guy that had feet like him in a long time, but it's not just the athletic ability. He's got the toughness, he's got the grit, he's got the strain, he's got the intangibles that we're looking for. He's a great kid. He comes from a great family. He comes from a football family. His dad's a coach. His brother's a college football player, once at Oregon now. So we just really love the makeup, and we just couldn't be any more jacked about landing Penei.
There you go. I mean, by the way, can I just say that, Brad Holmes looks on everything. He just looks like a general manager. I love his personality. I love Dan Campbell's personality. I love the reaction in the war room when Sewell fell to them. And I said this yesterday, we went live right after the Lions pick. And as a long-suffering Lions fan, you got to be careful because we've been sucked in so many times. I'll never give up. I'll never be a traitor like our good friend Dave Rieger, the Broncos DB. I'll never be someone that gives up on believing that this team eventually will get to and win a Super Bowl, because that's the kind of fan I am. I'm not going to ever you asked me before the show, you have a B team? Like, no, I don't have a B team. I mean, there's teams that I'll root for. I've liked the Chiefs in the past, the Ravens, and I've liked your Dolphins growing up with Dan Marino. That's where I got the Dan the Man nickname. My mom put that Sports Illustrated cover. I have it right over here. You know what? I'll grab it, because why not? It's a history lesson.
Now, this is something I didn't know, that you had this. I'm excited. I've never seen
Let's see if you remember September 12th, 1994.
Oh,
Dan the Man. My mom put this on the fridge, and that's where Dan the Man came from. I didn't call myself Dan the Man.
Right. That was shortly before his injury, too, before Scott Mitchell took over and then ended up becoming a Lion. It's interesting how there's so many connections between Miami and Detroit over the years. It's pretty remarkable.
That was after he beat the Patriots. They came back and won 38-35. He threw for 473 yards. 473 yards. That was back when quarterbacks were not doing that, in this video game era. And by the way, I'm trying to I want to get that Schefter tweet. And while I'm doing that, just get back into what you were saying about what you want to see the Lions do, what you want to see the Dolphins do coming up in round number 2 tonight. I'll be the FanDuel Sportsbook. They take great care of me there. Our good friend Charlie Brown, who actually is watching right now, there he is. He's going to be there. We're taking him to dinner, some crab legs for him, and then people come by and I'll let you in the booth. No fee for you. Just come by. We'll be at FanDuel tonight. Watching the draft. Lawton, you've been invited too. Are you coming, by the way?
No, I can't tonight, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, that sucks.
We're going to get back there. We're going to get back there soon. Hopefully I'll get to see you and Super Dave down there and have a nice little dinner and enjoy some time in that suite. That was a good time last time.
All right, so let everyone know. Go ahead with what you want to see the Lions and Dolphins do. Then we're going to go over before we get out of here, because I got a busy schedule tonight.
I understand. Yeah. So real quick, I think it's all about the receiver tonight, because that's obviously an area of need for the Detroit Lions. They have a number of areas, safety, linebacker, but I really think tonight there's some really good value early in the second round. I know the consensus, especially around Detroit, a lot of people like Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. But if he is not available at that time, take a good look at Rondell Moore from Purdue. He's a Midwest guy, Big Ten guy. He ran a 4.29 40-yard dash. The guy is small. He's he's been measured at 5'7" and 5'9". So who knows? Maybe we'll call him 5'8". Very quick slot guy to pair with Perriman and Cephas. Given Goff a few more weapons to throw to. Obviously, he's going to have a little bit better protection with Sewell on the line. So I like early in the second round tonight. Hopefully the Lions can pick up that receiver they so desperately need. And then as far as the Dolphins, I mean, their area of need is running back. They need a guy that can go between the tackles. And tonight, I'll be honest, Javonte Williams is that guy from North Carolina. If they can't get him, my boy Chuba from Okie State is available as well. Might even get a nice look at Trey Sermon from Ohio State as well. But Javonte Williams would be really good. We talked about how Gaskin can really get out as a change of pace guy. Javonte Williams is not that guy. He's the between the tackles, run you over type of guy. It would definitely solidify that backfield for the Dolphins. So that's what I'd like to see from the Fins. Running back tonight. Lions, I'd like to see them take another wide receiver to fill in some of those gaps for Goff.
Great stuff there, Lawton. I want to show you that tweet that I mentioned, the Schefter tweet. And, it's always funny, when you try to think about who these people could be, who the GM is, who the coach is. But here's the tweet. One NFL head coach called Lions first-round pick Penei Sewell, the one surefire Hall of Famer in this draft class. It was Sean McVay, Urban. I mean, who? I'm just trying to think. It's not. I'll tell you this. It ain't Brian Flores, and it ain't someone that passed on him. So I'm getting. Maybe it was Sean McVay. Maybe it was Pete Carroll. But I would love to know who that NFL head coach that said that Sewell was the one surefire Hall of Famer in this class. I mean, from all accounts, not all accounts, from all actuality, it sure seems like Trevor Lawrence, unless he gets, knock on wood, doesn't happen against a terrible injury, is going to, be a Hall of Fame type player too. But Penei Sewell, if he stays healthy, sure looks like he will as well.
Yeah, and I'm interested.
There's a great chance to.
What happens with Notre Dame, the Notre Dame linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? Because he is still, he was ranked pretty high, and a lot of teams have passed on him. So maybe the Lions get lucky again in the second round if they feel like maybe a receiver will be there. Obviously, linebacker is another area of need for the Lions. Maybe they take a flyer on him, another Midwest guy, local Notre Dame talent. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, I'd like to see the Lions go with a receiver early in the second round tonight. Just like I said, just to give Goff a few more weapons. So many receivers have left, and you don't want all that protection and no one to throw to.
That is the truth. All right, before we get out of here, I just want to kind of quickly go over the first round here and just kind of get your reaction on anything that kind of stood out to you. Of course, it was a surprise to some, not to people like you and I that knew, and we follow betting odds. Trey Lance was a decent favorite to be the number 3 pick. That kind of flipped over the last couple of days, so that wasn't a shock to some of us, but it was a shock to a lot of fans that weren't really following that. Obviously Chase goes to the Bengals. They couldn't take Sewell. Waddle goes to your Dolphins. They could have taken Sewell, but both of those picks are fine. I mentioned Walter Football, my favorite mock draft site. He thinks that both the Bengals and Dolphins should have taken Sewell, but they didn't make a terrible pick with Chase or Waddle. Both, transcendent potential receivers. J.C. Hornby, the first defensive player, was a surprise. Everyone thought it was going to be Pat Surtain the second, who went to the Broncos at 9. Justin Fields to the Buckeyes lot, or the Buckeyes to the Bears at 11. Yeah. Micah Parsons, you've talked about him a lot.
Micah Parsons is so perfect for Dallas, too.
He really – and by the way, I think we talked about this last night. When you look at, some of these players, and Najee Harris is the one that I brought up to you, I feel like Najee Harris has been a Steeler for 10 years. Like, some of these guys just feel like they should be on these teams. And by the way, Urban Meyer, I think he won the draft, and obviously luckily getting number 1. He has the number 1 quarterback and the number 1 running back, in my opinion. And Harris is great, too. But Travis Etienne, who I know you wanted for the Dolphins, is incredible. What stood out for you in round 1? I mean, nothing really crazy at the end of the round. Not any, crazy amounts of trades that we thought might have happened had Trey Lance not gone number 3, or if someone wanted to go up and get, someone like Justin Fields before 11. What stood out to you in the first round?
So a couple of things. One, I'm getting old. Joe Horn's kid is getting selected. Yeah. Patrick Surtain's kid. My God, I'm getting old. The other thing I noticed is they're trying to keep a lot of these tandems together. When you talk about Chase and Burrow, you've got Etienne and Trevor Lawrence staying together. Devontae Smith is back with Jalen Hurts. You got Waddle with Tua, obviously. So that was some. I think the surprise of that first round to me was the Bears taking a flyer on our guy from Ohio State,
Strawberry Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields. And the reason I'm kind of having it makes no sense. I mean, you brought Andy Dalton. So I guess what happens now? Andy Dalton's going to start. Justin Fields will back him up, and then Trubisky, and he's gone. And what do they do with Nick Foles? I mean, I feel like Chicago collects quarterbacks, and I feel bad for them because historically, the 2 times they went to the Super Bowl, we had Jim McMahon and Rex Grossman. So they've had everything. They've had defense, one of the greatest running backs of all time, you name it. Just never can get a quarterback there. It's just a weird thing. So.
And see, I'm not even that mad that he's in the division. I mean, I know a lot of my friends and some, listeners and stuff were tweeting me and sending messages on the show we did last night too, saying, "Yeah, the Lions were amazing until the Bears took Fields." Listen, I want Fields to do well. I'm not rooting against him. I'm not even that mad he's in the Lions division because there's a couple things. Quarterbacks go to die in Chicago. They have a terrible offense. They have 15 quarterbacks. You mentioned this last night, and obviously he's not going to start right away. Fields. I think it's obviously going to be, Andy Dalton, the red herring for a minute. Maybe Fields pulls a Tua type thing or a Garoppolo type thing and starts game 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Yeah. But I'm not. I think it's a bad place for him, and I hope he does well. I'm not rooting against him because I'm a Michigan fan or anything, but I'm not that worried about that. I mean, it sucks that he's in the Lions division when the Lions and a lot of their fans, wanted them to take him or wanted the Lions to take him, but they weren't going to take a quarterback after trading for Goff. But it's one of these things, Lawton, where guys can go wherever, and certain situations are going to be better for some than others. And I think the Bears are a bad situation for Justin Fields. I really do.
And Zach Wilson as well. He's got the swagger. He's obviously
he's got a hot mom.
The fans like it, but you're going to the Jets. You know what I mean? That's a 50-50 shot right there. They haven't traditionally been that. They got over Sam Darnold really quick, and a lot like the 49ers did with Garoppolo. There's this talk that he's going to get traded, and so a lot of things to unfold. I think not only with this draft but with trades. Where's Aaron Rodgers going to end up? A lot of questions heading in. I think it's going to be a real interesting week for the NFL.
You're going to hate this. I don't know if you already know this. I just found this out because our good friend Charlie Brown said this. Amani Bates just decommitted from Michigan State. That is garbanzo beans if you're a Spartan fan. I told you this.
And breaking news. I did not know.
Yes. Here, I'll throw the article up. I told I told you and others, Spartan fans, that I didn't think there was a great chance he was going to be playing at Michigan State. And a lot of that's obviously because, he probably wants to play professionally. I don't think he's going to college somewhere else. He probably wants to play for the G League Ignite team, that, kind of quasi-pro team where they don't have to go to college. That is bad news for Michigan State fans. It broke about 25 minutes ago. I've been getting ready for the show, so I missed it. But there you go. He decommits from Michigan State. He's going to reopen his recruitment. I think he's going to go to G League Ignite. I can't imagine he's going to go to another college, but that is bad news, Lon. I'm sorry to have to be the one to report that.
Man, yeah, it's tough news to get live on air. That sucks for Tom Izzo because, he spends so much time over the years trying to get those top candidates, top recruits, and we finally thought we got one. There was a lot of excitement, and it was all for naught. So that's too bad.
That is. All right, well, let's end on a positive note, though. I wanted to say one more thing about the first round. If you're getting ready for the second round tonight, you've got Kwity Paye, the Michigan, and this is not a Michigan home or anything, the defensive end extraordinaire going to the Colts at 21. I think they got some great value there. But This is even cooler when you look at him releasing a one-of-one. I'm a big NFT guy, Lawton. People don't know what those mean. That means it's a non-fungible token.
Yeah,
Jack Dorsey sold his first tweet. Here is Kwity Paye's one-of-one digital trading card. He's going to release it on OpenSea. Cool. It was released after he's drafted. All proceeds to whoever buys this are going towards his nonprofit, the Uniform Funding Foundation. Look how cool that looks.
That's awesome.
Get the Kwity Paye NFT. Lawton, before we go, parting shots from you. I'm sorry to be the one then to break the Amani Bates news.
Well, hey, what would make me happier is the Dolphins get a running back tonight and the Lions get a receiver. So that's my parting shot. Do the right thing. Do what you did. Again, Al Davis said it's more important to be right than winning or losing. And I think if both teams do that tonight, I think both fan bases will be certainly happy and also fill some holes.
All right, and I want the Lions to keep on doing what they did in the first round, making smart, successful, potential type picks that can build a team for the line out, which is what all the successful teams that have been in Super Bowls recently and won them, whether it's been the Chiefs, or the Rams, the Patriots, the Ravens, all those kind of teams have always done the right thing by building for the line out, making smart draft picks, and signing the right kind of free agents. So keep that going. You mentioned wide receiver. There's quarterbacks out there for the Lions as well. So get it done. Lawton, great job as always by you. It's always a pleasure, my friend. Go ahead.
Hey, Dan, I was just going to say I love the energy and the Lions in Allen Park. We haven't seen this kind of energy since maybe Wayne Fonts. We've had every type of coach. We had the smartest guy in the room previously. We had a defensive guy who was kind of arrogant to the media. We had Jim Caldwell saying, check the report. I mean, we can go on and on, but I like Dan Campbell. I like his authenticity. I like the energy, and you saw it last night in the war room. I think there are good things ahead for the Lions. Like I said, they gotta make some good decisions in these next 1 to 2 years.
All right, well, I'll leave you with this. As like I said, you don't often see this. I tweeted, not a sight often seen in my lifetime. The Lions war room erupting when Penei Sewell fell into their hands. Lawton, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for being here as always. And for everyone else out there, wash your hands, wear a mask, spread love, not hate. Always tuning to the task force. Can't wait for the future of this Lions team, hopefully to be a much different situation than it's been for much of our lives. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for our good friends at Screwball. For Lawton Luntz, I'm Dan Leach. This has been a special issue of the task force reaction to the first round of the NFL draft. More to come after the second, third, and the rest of the draft as well. Until next time, though, believe in the dream. We'll see you next time. Peace.